You first about Jordy. I just asked Tiare sort of about this, as she's come into year two after such a good freshman year. What's been most impressive to you about the way that she's performed over the course of this year?
She's got a different kind of freedom. I think the injury was really devastating for her. Her whole life she's been waiting for that big moment. She wasn't present. And that really, it hurt her, and she felt that because of that she hurt the team. And we wanted to show her, I mean, it's out of your control, and we just kind of played free and tried to do it for her. And I think one of the best moments of the season to me was seeing her, although she was maybe 40% pitching in the national championship game. And that was one to reward her if she wanted it, and to give her the experience of being on the mound was important. So now I just feel like she's over that, she's free, and she's enjoying it, and she's helping us in other ways. She was running bases in the Big 12 championship game really well. Had a hit and run on. She executed it really well. So she's just a lot more mature and a lot more relaxed.
Did it take her some time to sort of free herself in a mental way after going through all that and feeling like she was doing what she felt like she could do?
Yeah, I think so. I think it still kind of could hang on anybody, just what if kind of feel. But she's doing a good job of communicating and listening to what her body is telling her, because normally she wouldn't. She would just grind. You got to work hard, and that's Jordy. She's just very blue collar style. But she has grown into the position of, like, if I feel that my hamstring is hurting, I've got to say something so we can fix it or work on it or prevent it. And I think that's a big difference that I see from her.
Patty, I wanted to ask you about Haley Lee, and obviously we saw when she was able to do the Big 12 tournament. What did you see differently there? I know it's just a sort of a small sample size, but from the end of the regular season into that tournament, and how big a weapon can she be?
Yeah, it's funny. We're talking about 2 games, so she got hot in a game and a half. And the conversations that we've had, I feel, when you're in a slump, you just try to swing harder. And that's really, we want to do the opposite. And so she's swinging at 100%. That is not going to work, because your body just gets offset, your eyes get offset. So the conversation was more about just go at 20%, let's see what happens. And 20% is still like 80%. But we needed her, I think, to just stop taking such massive, when she swings, everybody swing and miss. There's sounds that go throughout the fan base. So it was just getting too big, and trying to get her to just slow it down a bit and just be a little more under control.
And you've played against her in the regional. Well, I guess a couple years ago didn't match up, but she was here for that. What do you remember about her, seeing her out for Texas A&M?
Uncomfortable as I felt against probably what people feel like seeing Jocelyn Allo, which I never had to feel. Very uncomfortable. Not sure what to do with her. She's definitely the player that you'd say, do not let her win the game. She covered the plate well. It's hard to get her out. When we got her out, I'm like, because she just has a swing. She has a swing at a different level. And it was just, when I saw her in the portal, I'm like, we've got to. She, to me, is one of the best hitters in the country.
Patty, it'll be the last couple of weekends here at this field. Just kind of, what were your thoughts way back when it opened, and when did you realize this wasn't big enough? Could you better than this?
Well, it's bittersweet. My whole life has been spent on this field. Lots of memories. Going from Reeves Park to us, this was like the Taj Mahal. This was like the greatest thing we had ever seen. And then you did see that we were starting to outgrow this. Probably, I think once we won the national championship in 2000, everything started to change fan-wise. And so we've been living in it since then. It's been now 23 years. And every year the fan base grows and grows and grows. Did I ever expect it to get here? In my mind, probably not, but in our play, yes. And people have been following us all over the country and showing up to see us, so I know we've arrived, and that's been a while ago. Probably around 2013, I started to feel it really get consistently growing. And so it's bittersweet. I hope it stays. Marita Hines Field stays here for a little longer. I don't know what is going to become of this space, but I think I feel it more than anybody. You know, the players are like, yeah, let's get out of here. Let's get bigger, you know. And I'm just like, wow, what are we going to do with the water leaked ceilings over here? And what? It's just, you know what this is? It's a blue-collar stadium. That's what it is. You know, and our players don't complain. They don't gripe about it. This is home. It'll always be home.
This place will be full again this weekend. You'll have the home run village full again. For you, does that ever get old? Is there a pinch me moment at some point the next few days when this place is full?
I just remember coaches who have been here that have lost to us in a regional or super regional have said out loud that's the hardest place to play. It's very hard to play in that stadium and feel like you can gain momentum. And so that's really the fans. And the fact that the fans are sitting low and they're on you. When we go to facilities where the stadium's up high, you just don't feel it the same way. But you can hear everything. Sometimes I don't want you to hear what is going on. Sometimes we don't want to hear it because it's sometimes against us at times. But you can hear every sound and you can feel everything. And so there is a great advantage, I think, home field advantage with the fans and how they come out and the way they go after it.
Not quite related to this weekend. When you pass the site of where the new stadium will be, do you think about it much? Is it just like going past Starbucks?
No. Well, I prefer Dutch Bros. So. No, I like Starbucks. No, every time I drive by, I slow down. And now I'm starting to see framing going up. And last week, we were fortunate enough to put on hard hats and be able to take a ride through. And it is a wow factor. So I see it on paper and I'm wowed. But when I'm standing in it and saying this is your new indoor facility, that is 4 or 5 times bigger than what we have right now. It's just a dream. I feel like I'm dreaming. It is going to be something else. And just driving through and seeing the dirt, and they're telling you this is where this is going to be. But they said as soon as it starts framing, you're going to start to see how magnificent it's going to be. And they're starting to frame it now. And I've been in every meeting I really am into the interior designing of things. This is like a dream come true as well, although it's not my specialty, but I'm able to have comments, what's going to be on the walls, what we're going to be sitting in, what colors are the tables, how do you want. This is really going to be an absolute class act, grade A facility for athletes. And I've said this before, in recruiting, when athletes would come here, I wouldn't really walk them around this field. I'd say, let's go to football. Let me take you down to football. Look at their locker room. Oh, wow. Oh, look at where the tunnel where they run out. Oh, look at this hot, cold facility pool. Just, talking about everything football. And now I know I will not have to do that. It will be an extra benefit when we go down there and watch a football game. But the wow factor is going to be within our softball stadium, which, no words. I mean, that's what you want, and that's what we're getting beyond that.
Patty, you were talking about Marita Hines Field, talking about the architecture and the way it's built, but and I haven't been a lot of other places, but I watch enough games that I feel like it's not just the stadium, but your fans have I don't know, like they are in the game in ways that I don't see a lot of even other really good fan bases. And I know I'm asking you to talk about your own fans, but it seems like they're part of that. You talk about coaches saying it's a tough place to play. How different or nuanced are the fans here in the way that they affect things?
I think they're very prideful of us and what we've done, and we know we're doing it for the university and we're doing it for our fan base. They appreciate athleticism. They appreciate hard work. They appreciate great plays. They're cheering when we're doing our warm-ups, which I've never heard before. So they're into everything. They're paying attention to everything. They appreciate the short game. They appreciate the home run. They're starting to really know the game. I think when they first started, they were just learning the game. Now I think they understand it. It's hitting the radio waves, whereas I couldn't even get asked to get on a radio. And now radio shows are dedicated to softball, which is blowing my mind because we couldn't even get a sniff back in the day. So just it's taken by storm. But I think our fans taken it by storm. And I think one of the biggest moments of this season was having 9,000 people in the Hall of Fame Stadium against Texas. That changed the whole dynamic of the sport, saying people, that you can get this many people. And then I made that wonderful statement about putting a softball field in the football stadium. And Glenn Moore, I said, hey, I'm first dibs with you. Let us be that team. So people are paying attention, and maybe someone else beats us to it. But the fact that people will fill a stadium to watch a female sporting event is a dream come true, and a really exciting time for the future of where the sports are going.
You welcome 3 teams this weekend. What do you know about your opponents?
I'm learning a lot about Hofstra right now, and they have a history of postseason. We've played them at the World Series, and actually I think we lost somewhere. I don't know, JT is looking all this up for me. But I'm more familiar with Cal Berkeley and with Missouri, and they do have very rich softball history, and we have played both teams more than a few times at the World Series. And that always makes me feel uncomfortable, because when you have a history, you have still a growing pride in who you are and representing your programs. So I do not think this is an easy regional by any means. These teams play hard. They play in tough conferences week after week after week. They've knocked off some top 10 teams. They've knocked off some top 20 teams. Their records are commendable. They've got big wins. I'm looking at this like we got a tough. I don't know. Look, I don't know how they play this all out and the seeding and so forth. But I look at this as kind of put a heat chart together, and we've got Missouri and Cal right next to each other, like on the top left, and we're on the top right, but they're right here, and to me that's a way above average teams. And then you've got some teams 5, 6, 7 whose teams are down below in like some of the lowest areas you could be when you add all their numbers up. So it's almost like, okay, OU can handle this. You guys take this. You can handle this. I think we get looked at like that at times, and that's a tough place to be. But our team knows we're going to have to play really, really good softball in order to get through this weekend. We're not taking anything for granted.
What are some things that you're really trying to hammer home with your team as you all head into this stretch in the regional? What are you really focusing on?
I think early count recognition, like really attacking pitches early, good eyes at the plate, but getting your swing off, being calm, not being over anxious, keeping your feet on the ground, so to speak, and your head in the game, not getting overwhelmed with the moment. We have a lot of experienced players that know how to go through this. They need to be good leaders in teaching some of these others. Some who have come from other programs are going to be nervous here, even though they've already played in these settings, not here though. So I think just good leadership is going to be important as well.
Thanks, Coach.